everyone, and thank you very much for having us here today. Very warm welcome to the exciting panel on cyber wars and corporate shields. We live in a world where, you know, the next attack might not be, which would only be from a missile maybe, but malware definitely for sure. No matter what is the size of the company, every organization today is a target potential. And when I say organization, I'm not talking about a corporate or a government agency. It is any organization at large now. Uh, this is the new reality of the world, and I'm sure we have been talking about this throughout the day today, wherein technology literally has outpaced the systems which are meant to protect it. Of course, we have talked about AI with new technologies coming in. Now, of course, there is AI in the security defenses, but as well in the way cyber criminals are also utilizing AI, more advanced threats. Now the phishing emails don't come from hackers who don't really know how to write an email with mistakes. They are super sophisticated. They are so close to being legitimate. Yeah. So today we have a powerhouse panel as well with us today who's a mix of law, legal, so to say, academia, as well as policymakers. What we are trying to do here is explore the legal, operational, and human elements of cyber defense, and hopefully we'll walk away with practical takeaways that each of us can use in our professional lives. So let's get started. I'll start with you, Anuj sir. While you work in this space of, cyber crimes and laws, what are some of these new cyber crimes that you feel today, not just companies, but as the citizens of India, we should be careful about? There is digital arrest that is happening. And it is not happening on just innocent people who are unaware. Even people who are well aware, who are in the financial industry. It's been in the news for the last 2-3 weeks. It's not a small amount. 25 crores is what has gone. So what do you feel, these new types of cyber crime attacks are like, and how do you feel we should gear up?
Thank you very much. I just share the recent examples and very interesting examples that 562 corporates get an email that get ready to pay the balance of the shares which you are supposed to do. And they are all up in arms calling this company who is a vendor and they are the customers, what's going on? They say, no, we have not sent the mail. We have received the mail, it's all proper mail. Okay, call up the cyber security person. Now he is doing his usual analysis. Mail is not there in the sent box. The mail is there in the delete box from the sender. But it is very much there in the inbox. And of course, some of the regulators have got that email also, say NSDL or RBI. Nothing has been asked actually. So no link provided, no money transfer requested. If you ask any security expert, leave aside a cyber security expert, there has to be a motive for the crime, which is typically a financial gain or a social gain. None seems to be there. So what can be the motive, and why there can be a crime or a cyber threat without a motive? The entire reputation of that organization is not gone. Nothing has happened, no loss has occurred to anyone. But the entire reputation has gone that you are not even able to manage your emails. How are you going to manage the securities? How are you going to manage the shares? How are you going to manage the funds? So that is the kind of risk we are facing today from an enemy which is absolutely nowhere to be seen. The earlier speaker, the major, has spoken about an enemy which he could see, and he can do an analysis using his AI, and he could speak in their dialect and get rid of that situation. Of course, it was a very difficult situation, but he did fantastic job, saved his life. But today you are facing an enemy which is not to be seen, which is not to be felt. You don't know what is the motive. In the Nagaland case, they at least had a motive. There is a conflict going on and everything. So it's very easy to analyze and then probably create a response. Today we are having an enemy, no motive, not being seen. You have all the security, because I know this company very well. So probably they are doing over security. They have actually two SOC, two security operations center softwares they are running. I say, boss, what are you doing? वैसे नहीं नहीं सर, एक ये बीएससी ने प्रोस्क्राइब किया है तो ये भी लगा लेते हैं, एक ये एक्सपर्ट ने प्रोस्क्राइब किया है ये भी लगा लेते हैं. कोई ये नहीं कहना चाहिए कि भाई आपने किया नहीं. अभी क्या करें? There people aren't able to work because at least 5-6 security endpoints are working, but still. So I think this is where we are living in. These are the kind of enemies we are dealing with, and of course, I'm leaving right here for further discussion.
Thank you very much. Pretty insightful. And I'd like to add on to the case that you just mentioned, because we also get the opportunity to help our clients who face such cyber attacks. At least in this case, they could identify that, hey, is this a legitimate email? That was at least a question that they asked. I know companies, the family businesses being run now, which are pretty reputed, they work across the globe. There was this very similar case wherein the hacker knew the invoice details, the exact name of the finance head. He wrote a very legitimate email looking exactly how on month that email goes on, asking to pay for an invoice so that they could release the goods from their, French storehouse, and they.
Mexico.
Yeah, and then also mentioning that, hey, my bank account has changed, so you pay on this account then, and the transaction was done. It was a 2 crore thing. I cannot name the client. It's not a public news, but then after 2 months, they are still waiting for the goods to come, and they were like, hey, we've already done your payment. Why are my goods still not here? And they're like, sorry, we never received those payments from you. So. Absolutely. So, of course, definitely, the hackers, we don't see them. They are definitely unknown in terms of what is the motive behind doing that. Is it just money? Is it politically driven? Or are these just some new generation school pass-outs who are trying to, play the tricks and get some money out? Well, moving on to that, and Saakshar, I'll ask you, with these kind of cyber attacks and crimes happening, we talked about just a few, but definitely as the panel proceeds, we'll talk a little more about it. How do you think, with TPDPA, of course, coming in, the rules are still awaited, but how do you feel that our laws are, actually, are we ready enough with the laws? We have an IT Act, which is, I would say, at a very high level in terms of putting the right punishments, nabbing the hackers or the attackers. We have DPDPA come out talking about the privacy law, but how do you feel, are we ready as a country to treat such attacks from a law perspective?
Well, I think all of us have given 12th standard boards. So there are generally two types of people. One, those topper kinds who study every day. And generally people, like generally all of us, are those who study just 1 week before the exams. And when we study 1 week before the exams, we get shocked because the syllabus is huge and we didn't expect that much. I think the similar case is with humanity with respect to AI specifically. AI is one subject which has totally come out of the box. We were expecting it sometime later, maybe in the 2030s. Now it has come up. And you mentioned about laws. So I personally believe that gone are those days where we could make laws and sit for the next 10 years and then we'll start thinking of such amendments to happen. In today's times where every minute, and not even without any exaggeration, every minute there is a news coming up, there's some development on AI because the AI is impacting every space on the planet. In such a case, laws, yes, if I have to talk about our country or any other country whatsoever, There are a couple of countries who have come up with their own AI law. They, in fact, if you talk about European Union, China, Canada, or many countries who have come up with at least certain policies on AI, they are not remaining complacent because they very well know the laws today will get redundant maybe the next year. So I think constant updation of laws is required. And number two, with respect to our country, we are expecting the new Digital India Act positively. It should have all the nuances to AI, but if I have to be very much frank, it's not about law. I think humanity is not ready for AI. We have taken up, or we have come up with this one thing. It's a global race at the moment. We can't stop it. AI is developing. Global companies are funding billions of dollars on it. So AI is here to stay. And if we'll not prioritize our knowledge and our learnings with respect to AI, then I think we might suffer the brunt.
Completely agree with you, Saakshar. Moving on to Captain Alaroy. Sir, with our Honorable Prime Minister's Digital India initiative, connected cities, smart cities, traffic lights being connected to the cars, how do you feel, and you being in the crisis management on ground space, how do you feel that, how important is human intelligence and vigilance in terms of combating these attacks, whether it is an IoT based attack or a drone attack or, like Saakshar mentioned, maybe an AI. So how well are we prepared, and what are some of the key defenses that we should look upon today for not just, you know, the IT side of it, but the physical defense side of it?
Thanks, Ravleen. You know, you mentioned one element which is very important, which is the human element. In the forces, we are taught one thing. You can give, you know, the best of the modern weapons to a person, but ultimately it is the man behind the gun or the machine which makes a difference. So human intelligence is far, far beyond. Probably we just use about, I think about 7 or 8%. I think Alfred Einstein used about 7 or 8%. Beyond that also, he also couldn't. So I think we are hardly using even 0.1% of whatever we. But as humans, you know, humans have the capability to sort of decipher much better all these attacks. After all, you know, you can upskill yourself, but you need to know the basic nuances of all these things that are happening. All these redundancies which happen is basically because of human being. You know, you are able to anticipate. You are able to sort of see through whatever is happening. And you are the one who's inventing it actually. How is it, you know, how is it programmed? These are all algorithms which are made and they are, you know, put into practice. And over a period of time, they pick up the best practices. And that's how, you know, you get something out of it, whether it is AI or whether it is. So you have to study the behavior of a particular pattern which is happening. And you also need to understand how it is happening. As human beings, probably we have that advantage that, you know, we also need to collaborate with different sections or different patterns. We have to form a pattern actually. You know, different sections, different departments within a particular organization, so that you know exactly, you have to be the first responder in all these things. So until and unless you respond to that, and as a first responder, you will definitely have the advantage of getting to know the system much better than a machine. So you have to keep all these things in mind also. And there are many use cases on all these things that I'm speaking of, which tell you exactly how you can attack and exactly how you can, you know, decipher an attack and how you can prevent an attack also.
No, absolutely. With Digital India advancing, we need definitely more awareness in terms of what cyber attacks are from a citizen perspective. The lawmakers should definitely have the right controls and rules put in place, and on our side, on the defense side, absolutely controls in terms of deciphering whether it's an AI based attack or the human element of identification is what it makes all the difference. And to you, Dr. Kiran, you work with students today. thanks to COVID, whether it's marking an attendance or even reading, learning, whether it's the curriculum or even if it's appearing for the exam, everything is digitized today. We are doing it over a portal, over an app. Also with Chat GPT coming in, there's a lot of information, a lot of data. You can't really restrict, especially in universities and hostels. There is this bring your own device for students that you'll have to allow, and you cannot actually block too many of these websites, because definitely they also need mediums of entertainment if they are living in the outskirts, right? So how do you feel that, what are those elements of training and awareness for this young generation, for these people who have a lot of information at their disposal but very little knowledge in terms of what is privacy, what is security, and what are the elements they need to be careful about with the Instagrams coming in, and think all of this, I would say, abundance of digital apps at their disposal.
Thank you, Ravleen. That's an interesting question, and I'm sure that all the parents are sitting out over here. It's not an educator, it's the concern for the students. I think that's a concern for each and every parent as well. So to answer this question, I will start with only one word that's known as a digital hygiene. The way we teach our children that always wash their hands to stay healthy, I think time has come. We have to start now teaching our kids, children, student, to always let them know that how to keep their digital space clean. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi started a campaign, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. I think time has come now. We should have one mission, that digital Swachh Bharat mission, where everyone should work together and understand that how to keep this digital space clean. Because online environment is as important as our physical world is. Be it food ordering, buying something, even getting traffic updates, booking a cab, everything has come online. So it's really very important that awareness is the one key. Students of this age, they are very sharp than us. Even the parents might get surprised one day, they take our mobile and they explore such kind of features what we are not aware of. They are sharp, but we need to channelize their energy. We need to be a moral compass so that we can tell them that they should be digital mindful of this. They should have one kind of a question in their mind. If I am opening an email, is it going to cause some kind of a negative effect on me? We all go to airport and we get fascinated by public airport mobile charging facilities. But we never think about that. If I am putting my mobile at public place, is it going to cause some kind of a malware? My device could be infected. So that digital awareness and ethical awareness has to be very important. That's the one thing. But we as an educator, that I talked about as a human being, educator, parent, but where the role comes as a part of educator, we, apart from this digital consciousness among students, among young generation, there has to be a technical preparedness also. We should get our students into cyber labs. We should get our students into the environment where we can simulate real world attacks, how it is happening in the software, so that they can understand that how attacks are happening and how to assess that vulnerability also. By getting them into a real world hackathon, and experiential learning is the way to get onto that one. So the second thing is technical preparedness. The third thing I would like to say that being digital mindfulness, being technical preparedness, but they need to know about new technology where it is coming up. The way you have said that AI has come up. With the help of AI, cyber security is not stealing information, it is stealing truth also. We get deepfake videos, we get doctored media, doctored audio. We really do not know whether it is truth or not. So students should be told about that. If I am watching a digital media or a digital audio or a video, if I watch it closely, there is a lip sync. Is there a natural eye movement? Is there a gesture? So such kind of a small thing, if we teach our kids or children, they would be aware about this as well. So that's really very important that whenever any engineer, let's talk about an engineer. Engineers are the one who are going to develop such kind of a cybersecurity solutions. They are going to take place in the corporate world. So they should be taught about that whenever they are developing a system. They should not think that that is the point, only this could be hacked, or maybe at the time of an end user. There is a data pipeline. The data travels from app to server, goes to database, goes to further storage space as well. So the students should be able to identify that, what could be the different points in data pipeline and what kind of a vulnerability could exist over there, so that has to be there. So what I say that being an educator, it's our responsibility to empower our students not to lead technical solutions, but also to act critically and responsibly, but they must have one essential ingredient in their life that lead with integrity in this digital world. So that's really very important. Yeah.
Mr. Anuj, you did mention about one of the use cases, right? You also mentioned that they put in 2 SOC in place. Now, how do you feel that as a policy maker and as a security controller in an organization, how can they work together to bring in the right practices? Of course, we have the standards, there is ISOs, there is NIST, there is whatnot. Where is it that we are going wrong? And how is it that it's always, the attackers are always one step ahead of us? What is it that we can do today to, if not get ahead of them, at least match their pace? And while awareness is one very critical part of it, how resiliency can be built as a culture?
The reason is whether we are honest enough, whether we want it. Because I go to many awareness programs, and there are people who are listening, and I am giving gyan, cyber hygiene, everything, do this, not to do this, and they will clap like anything. And third day I'll get, sir, good morning, how are you? And I'll ask, sir, क्या हुआ, वीडियो बन गई क्या? हाँ सर, वीडियो तो बन गई, अब क्या करें? तो मैं उनको यही बोलता हूँ कि अब तो कुछ कर नहीं सकते, अब तो वीडियो बन गई, अब तो आपने जो करना था वो कर दिया, ये तो आपको पहले सोचना था कि क्या करें. So the question is, whether it is corporate, whether it is government or any organization or in our personal life, do we really want to be safe? No. We actually want to be adventurous. We say, अरे हम तो हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ते हैं, हमारे साथ तो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. आर्मी में तो ये लोग बहुत अच्छी तरह जानते हैं कि जो चीज़ आप सोचते हो नहीं हो सकती है वही होने वाली है. So we are on a digital highway. We are on a very fast speed. We want everything fast. Fine. But are we following any rules on the road? I had very recently been to multiple cities of the developed countries. I have seen people driving very fast, but hardly any accident, because they are stopping, they are in the lane, and they are respecting pedestrians. So it is very much there. It is not that, and I have not seen any police wala on any road. हमारे यहाँ तो हर रेड लाइट पर 2 पुलिस वाले हैं, मोबाइल देख रहे हैं, राइट? ऐसा होता है नहीं होता? सर बताइए. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अगर उनको लगता है कि कोई वीआईपी आ रहा है, हटो 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 हटो, and that will cause more accidents actually. That will not lead. And at the worst they will do कि कुछ चालान 10-15 काट दिए, जिसमें आप अगर ईमानदारी से भी निकल रहे हो तो अच्छा आपका नंबर नोट कर लिया, चलो भाई घर पे चालान आ गया, बोले अरे यार मैं तो वहाँ रुका था, बोले तभी तो तुम्हारा चालान कट गया, अगर निकल गए होते तो कैसे नंबर नोट करता, So it is basically self-discipline, interest, whether we want to be secure physically. नहीं, गाड़ी लड़ानी है, बोले हमसे आगे निकल गया, इसको पीछे करना है, जल्दी घर पहुंचना है, और घर पहुंच के बीवी से झगड़ा करना है, और कुछ नहीं काम है, टीवी देखना है. Everybody is in a hurry with no objective in mind. आप देख लीजिए, मेरी तरफ देख लीजिए, अपनी तरफ देख लीजिए, मैं किसी इंडिविजुअल की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. So I think, madam, what we need to do is we need to understand where we want to be. We have all the means. I was recently in an anti-fraud conference in London, and they were amazed to know that India has 122 telecom connections, 95 crore mobile, internet connections, and how are you still running and you have an UPI which charges nothing for transfers? with no time. They say it's not possible. The whole Europe is less than that, even less than half of that. And they are having so many problems. उनको पसीना आ रहा है, हमारा तो चल रहा है. So I think it is intent. If we want to be, we can be. On the artificial intelligence, I have just one thing. Have you understood what AI is all about? Have you understood intelligence? मैं सिर्फ आप लोगों से एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ. Intelligence क्या है अगर कोई मुझे बता दे? What is intelligence? I know all of you are intelligent people. But still, if somebody can explain, बताइए please. What is intelligence? अगर हमें इंटेलिजेंस पता चल जाएगी तो फिर हम आर्टिफिशियल भी बना सकते हैं उसका. वो तो हम माहिर हैं ही हैं नकली चीजें बनाने में. बट व्हाट इज इंटेलिजेंस? एनीबडी? एनी आइडिया? ओके. एनीथिंग एल्स? एनीथिंग वाइल्ड? Oh, great, great. All animals have it. Sir, anything else? Anything else? Anything else? And my definition is the ability to commit a mistake is intelligence. That is where the computers have so far not reached and not likely to reach. So AI is not a threat at all. It is just an improved version of what we have seen, Google, or even a fridge or a washing machine has a basic intelligence. आप बटन दबा दीजिए 30 सेकंड या 30 मिनट तक वो चलती रहेगी. We are saying it's very intelligent. भाई चल रही है, बिना किसी के कहे, बिना कुछ करे चल रही है. So we are, so I think AI की चिंता नहीं है. हमें अपनी चिंता है क्योंकि हम बहुत इंटेलिजेंट हैं, हम इसको करना नहीं चाहते. Thank you.
A beautiful thought put in by you, sir. And you, Dr. Kiran, did speak about, creating technical awareness, taking students to lab. Sir is telling that there is no intent. And I somewhat agree, I wouldn't say completely, but we know that our photo, we all know about ChatGPT and all of these AI chat solutions. All of your students would know that today, right? They still choose to upload their picture on a ChatGPT so that it can give it an animated picture out of it. We all know that, yeah, there is a privacy law as well in place. So probably, yes, they are doing their jobs on the other side, but as students, as humans, are we okay still to have our photos shared over the internet on a Facebook or a Instagram as well over a chat GPT which is doing nothing but collecting this information? Let's talk about Truecaller. Favorite application. I'm sure 99% of people sitting here today will have it and they use it. I don't have it either. That's why I said 99%, but no, it's definitely a favorite app. And what is it doing? What is it doing? It is just collecting your information. Even the name of the name of that contact is based on how you would have saved it. So if you have saved my name as a Ravleen, EY was my previous organization, I still see sometimes when the phone is ringing on another's phone from me, it says Ravleen EY. It's just a collection of data, yes, Dr. Kiran, and we all know as individuals, as super intelligent people, we are still doing it. How are we dealing it at an academia level? And yes, you did talk about, we were talking outside, how are we putting this in our curriculum? You did talk about digital cyber hygiene. How are we inculcating this as a culture from the very beginning? We do talk about environmental science and all of those. Are we suggesting, not just in your university, at a school level, at a country level, what do you feel academia is missing today to create this awareness and also the intent, like Anuj said, right? Intent is missing completely.
Yeah, well, I would like to say that in today's world, whether we do not use Truecaller, we do not use Instagram, but still we can't prevent ourselves to be somewhere in digital world. Google Map, everybody uses. Uber, everybody uses. Whatever is the way, we cannot prevent ourselves into the digital world. We can say that I do not use this app, but we do not know every time we are being watched. Even through WhatsApp, we communicate. Even through our emails, everything is there with the Google, right? Now, when it comes to an educational institution, That's very right that digital hygiene or awareness is the one thing, but surviving the cyber threat is the one way to do that. But we need to lead students to develop cybersecurity solutions also. So when it comes to a curriculum, I think academia we always know that there is a lot of gap between academia and industry. Industry works on latest trends and new technologies. And sometimes we say that curriculum is very old in academia. And all this privatization has come to education. All academic institutions keep on updating this curriculum, but how fast they keep on updating this curriculum, revising all the changes, but technological landscape is changing so fast, and technical shelf life, every technology shelf life has shrunken down. So it means that academia cannot bridge the gap, but they can minimize the gap with this thing. They can bring on new way to deal with this. The student should be aware about that, how AI can be used. We say that with the help of AI, everybody uses that AI. If I say, let's have hands who use ChatGPT to write their emails, I am pretty sure that everybody uses kind of that way. The way we go to temple and ring the bell every day nowadays, open their ChatGPT on their laptop. So that's only the one thing. So getting cybersecurity, new challenges, new kind of a competition, new era of technology landscape. Like what? DevOps. If there are engineers, we know that we develop software and we deploy it. DevOps is another thing. But now AI DevOps has come up. Cybersecurity new courses have come up. Quantum computing is another technology which has come up. So educational institutes shall keep on changing their curriculum rapidly, and they should tell about the students that how to fight with these challenges. And rather, I must say that why are we talking about only higher education? This digital hygiene or a cybersecurity related courses, we always talk about that for school kids, be very good at communication. So communication skills should be very good. We as a parent, we teach our kids that mathematics is also very important. I think the time has come that cybersecurity should be a fundamental subject, even at a school level as well. Our previous keynote speakers said that हर कोई अपनी सुरक्षा करे तो एक देश की सुरक्षा होगी. So I would like to think this way only, even in the digital world, if everyone tries to take even a small action where we can protect ourselves, I think we can be the soldier in that cyber war also. That's only the another thing. Second thing is what? Let academia and industry collaboration shall happen. Academia always reach out to the industry and they say that let's collaborate, help us in organizing some kind of a hackathon, mimic some kind of a cyber attack which you faced it, so that students should know about that. That is what they are going to face in the future and how to develop that solution. Even industry, all the corporate people sitting out over here, it is my request that you should also come forward. I think the time has come where academic people and industry people should shake their hands and understand that these young generation is going to be the future digital citizen who will carry this flag, and their job is to make our country digital aware or maybe a cyber secure also. That's there. Another thing I say that UGC, AICT, I do not know, corporate people know about it or not, but all educational institutions have a regulatory bodies. UGC, AICT, we talk about cybersecurity policy, you mentioned about it. Similarly, all these regulatory bodies must have one cybersecurity policy in place where all institutions, academia institutions shall come together, develop a cybersecurity policy and understand that what should be the basic skills that should be available with the students, not to the engineer. It could be a banker. It could be a student who is studying even maybe in interior decoration or maybe school management or maybe a law. They should be aware about that, how digitization is happening. Now, be it any field, lawyer, banking, everything, digitization has come up. So it means that it's not the responsibility of engineers or it's not the responsibility of higher educational institute. I think it's a collective responsibility of industry, academic institutions, government and regulatory bodies, and even schools as well. I think we should come together and collaborate with each other and think about that, what could be the new ways to teach our kids? How can we induce new way of learning, new way of fighting? I must say that we say there is no threat with AI, but still I feel that there is a threat with AI. Why? I, being a teacher, I'm giving an assignment to the students, and next day I have to evaluate my student. And I'm so surprised, everybody is coming up with wow solutions. Everybody has done wonderful assignment. How are they doing it? They are not doing it, that ChatGPT is doing it. So is it really killing our creative thinking ability? Earlier, we used to go to library, at least browse 10 or 12 books and understand that, how to develop solution. But now these kids, they are not thinking about anything. They're giving a prompt to ChatGPT. They're getting
It's
those.
actually a threat to the lazy teachers. that they are being caught. So,
It's a smart teacher. That's the reason they were caught, and I am quoting the examples over here.
No, I'm just being cognizant of the time. It's
Yeah,
already up.
that's right.
I'll move on to Captain Alroy. She did mention about students, what all we can do at a curriculum and a policy level. From a crisis management perspective, very briefly, if you could answer, what is the preparedness or training? What are the top 2-3 roles of these two things that we should inculcate to ensure that the crisis of tomorrow, which could be a ransomware or a digital arrest or a cyber attack, could be mitigated?
Training forms a very important, training as well as experience forms a very important part in these things. When you have to simulate actually, and when you simulate, what do? You first of all you simulate some sort of an attack. So how is the attack going to? What is going to be the most possible ways something is going to happen? Then you do a risk mitigation of the entire thing, as to how exactly could you mitigate the risk. Of course, you cannot mitigate 100% of the risk, but whatever risk you can mitigate, the rest part, what you cannot mitigate, then you have to draw up a plan so that you are able to, able to counter that sort of a risk. You need to have a quick response team. You need to simulate attacks, right? And lastly, training on all these, and there is a skill also as to how exactly you need to do it. So your IT team, the admin team, security team, they all need to collaborate and work together. And lastly, of course, like what she said, that digital footprint is there everywhere, right? So you cannot, we say, whatever we say, the very fact that you're using a smartphone is that you have a digital footprint. So whether you use Truecaller or whether you don't use Truecaller, you use Insta. We are in the habit of putting our photographs immediately wherever we go, we put it on Insta. I don't know whether you saw that presentation in the morning by Brigadier Neil, where he, the type of deep fakes and the type of things that are being done. You had the Prime Minister dancing to somebody else's tune on an air. And he was himself surprised. I mean, the Prime Minister himself said that I am surprised to find my video where I am dancing. He said, I didn't know I dance so well. So that was his answer. So we have to be very careful as what to do. I mean, the academia did speak of a lot of things which can be done. And what Mr. Duggal also had said, that it's not about, it's every second or every probably 15, 20 seconds, you are getting something new. And we don't know what exactly is coming up. So like you rightly said, the crooks are already 1 or 2 steps ahead of us. And they're thinking much ahead of us. Before you form a plan to mitigate their risk, that they have created another risk for you. So training is important. Experiential learning is important and use cases also. So these 3 form a basis for you, so that next time whenever you have something in mind, at least to mitigate that sort of a risk.
Okay, thank you. And Sasha, to you, while you did mention that there is a new digital law which is coming up, do you feel there is a scarcity of, if I can put this across, that in terms of the judges that we have, the jury that we have, and the advocates do we have, versus the kind of attacks these corporations and organizations are facing today, do you think are we ready in terms of understanding what is happening and then implicating or rather matching it with whatever the law says and then fight it or even track it against the hackers? So there's a lot of element, and I know very little about this, but there's a lot of element which can be only accepted as an evidence digitally, right? So what if as a hacker, I play with that data and I ensure that none of that is acceptable in the court of law? So if you can put a little thought on that, and I'm sorry, I know it's just, that's the last question that I wanted to put across. So I really feel it's an interesting one. If you can answer this briefly, it'll be really good. Thank you.
Well, no doubt, when we talk about e-evidence, it's a gray zone altogether. And thanks to AI coming up, when we see deepfake cases at the ground level, which have started to come, deepfake cases, voice cloning cases, the biggest question is, how will you prove whether this evidence is authenticated or not, number one. Number two, whether, okay, even if you're able to prove the evidence, then who's the culprit? Catching the culprit is another issue. But going beyond that, I think adding to all the speakers, when I personally believe it's a huge irony. We have conclaves, we have sessions, we have training programs, we have our caller tunes on beware of cybercrimes. But still, we fall for it. And I personally believe that it's because of prioritized awareness is the lacking factor here. In the sense that if I ask any one of you, is knowing about cybercrime and cyber hygiene is important? Everyone will say yes, but unfortunately at a personal level, no one will bother. Why? Because everyone thinks that India has crores and crores of people, so why us? We are not a celebrity, we are just a common man. We won't, there are many people out there before us. But that's the catch, ladies and gentlemen. I personally believe that if it doesn't matter what kind of initiative any government, any corporate, any conclaves are making up, if as individuals we are not prioritizing to this fact that yes, we are the ones who are at the place of a potential victim, and today or tomorrow, if we have this in our hands and if we are using the internet, then I'm sorry to say we are part of the game, and prioritizing digital hygiene and knowing about these laws, at least the basics, is the need of the hour. So thank you so much.
Okay, very well said. Thank you. And what a fantastic.
कह रहे थे अनुज जी कि हनुमान चालीसा तो पढ़ ही रहे, मेरे साथ नहीं हो सकता है.
Absolutely. No, it's a fantastic discussion, everyone, yet it's a very clear message by all of us together that cybersecurity is everyone's business. Thinking it might not happen to me or to us or to my organization is a myth.
I have started avoiding going into these awareness sessions because invariably after 2 days I'll start getting calls कि सर मेरे साथ हो गया, और मैं उस सेशन में था, मैंने आपकी बात को सुना भी था, बट फिर भी मेरा वीडियो बन गया क्योंकि मैं बाथरूम में फ़ोन लेकर गए ही गया. And I feel very bad that I am such a bad communicator that I could not tell this person, please do not carry this mobile in your bathroom. नहाने गए हो यार, वहाँ पे क्या करने गए हो? तुम इमरजेंसी में हो, 112 चला रहे हो, तुम इमरजेंसी डॉक्टर हो? नहीं, तो क्यों लेगा? तुम जज हो. जजेस को पढ़ाया, हाँ सर, समझ गए. क्या करें सर? अब मैंने कहा अब कुछ मत करो, अब फ़ोन बंद कर दो 1 हफ्ते के लिए कम से कम. नहीं सर, आई एम ए वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पर्सन, फ़ोन बंद नहीं कर सकता. तो मैंने कहा फिर पैसे दे दो.
Okay, I'll end it with just one little thought, that stay alert, stay informed, keep your corporate shields or rather personal shields on at all times, and let's look forward to making a digital secure India. Thank you very much to all the speakers and for the lovely audience here.